Hey, Trader Steven here with TraderSplain.com. It's Friday morning, recording this at the end of the close on Thursday. It's Friday, August the 12th. We're going to do what we normally do. We're going to look at the top ETFs of the week. We'll start with the overall index, kind of take a look at that real quick, look at the health of the overall market, and then we'll really dive deep into the top 10, what's performing good, what's not, stuff like that. So let's start with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, if I could really draw a line across here, it really hasn't moved, since in the last 5 weeks, right? It's just kind of going sideways, and it looks like an uptrend, right? Because it barely keeps kind of pulling back, going high, pulling back. But really, it's kind of pulled back, and it's the same price it was a month ago, right? 4 to 5 weeks. So still in an uptrend, right? Kind of interested to see if this does come back and do a test of the 50-day moving average, which we're currently 2.5% above that line, right? Momentum looks like it's slowing, but that doesn't mean that it can all of a sudden, sometimes the market just needs a breather. That doesn't mean it can't pick back up really, really quick, because as you can see at any point in time, right, you can take a break, and then, just the market can really hit higher. So right now we're in an uptrend. I'm going to treat it like it's an uptrend. I'm not going to look for bearish outcomes. I'm going to look for bullish outcomes, because you look at the S&P 500, and this is really a steady, boring uptrend, right? And it really has been in a nice uptrend since it broke out in November. We've had some decent pullbacks, maybe a small correction right here. So you've had a lot of 3 to 5% pullbacks, but it just keeps going higher. And if I cut out the noise and look at the weekly chart, I mean, look at that, right? So ever since March of last year, we were just straight up. So either way you look at it, right, we're going to have pullbacks, we're going to have corrections, but we're in an uptrend, we're in a bull market, and you want to make sure that you own stocks. Like, you want to take the bullish side and not look at the bearish side. So let's look at the top ETFs of the week, right? So we're going to start with BETZ is at the top of the list with 5.6%. And I believe this is due to DraftKings. DraftKings, and we can kind of look at that. DF, I think it's KDF. Let me look at that real quick. Draft. DKNG, that's it. So you can see right here, DraftKings, peaked in March and has really gone down, and is now climbing back above the 200-day moving average after an earnings report. So if I go back to this, so it's probably why this one's looking pretty good. I'm sure there's some other stocks in the betting area that are moving in sympathy, but the ETF is now back above the 50-day moving average. So this look, and there's plenty of accumulation kind of stepping in. So this to me is pretty bullish. You have a rising relative strength line that's relative to the S&P 500. You could see a couple things. You could play this. You could see if it holds, the 50-day moving average for a few days, because a lot of times what will happen is it'll pop, it'll pull back just a little bit, and then it'll do that. But it might not. So just kind of keep an eye on it. If you want to go ahead and buy it right here, that's totally cool. I think you're going to need a stop loss. You can have a pretty tight stop loss of about 5%. 1% under the 200-day moving average. It might pull back and get you closer, but I think this looks pretty good. And with the accumulation and what the DraftKings chart, I think that looks like a buy. Spider, S&P Metals and Mining, XME. This chart looks pretty bullish, right? You have a nice cup with handle pattern. You have a breakout right here. You can see the cup with handle, pattern, breakout, and so far it's holding this breakout zone. So to me, this also is a buy. Commodities have really popped. This also is a buy, and you can just put a stop under last week's low, which is probably looks about probably about 5-6% as well. So this ETF looks good, right? Bullish breakout, and I'm sure that's due to the steel, right? Steel ETF looks pretty strong. Also, this chart looks very similar to the XME, so I would also say you call this a sideways consolidation. I could also draw a cup with handle, and then you got the breakout right there with a stop right under here. So commodities are having a strong day on Thursday. You can see that platinum is having, well, that's not having a strong day. It's having a strong week. I wonder if this looks like a reversal pattern. Let me see right here. Let me kind of track it. The low of 91.05. Yeah, this is looking like it's going to be a reversal pattern as long as it doesn't roll over on Friday, a weekly reversal pattern. really looks like a weak chart, right? You got the death cross right there. So a lot of the metals do not look good. A lot of the kind of more base metals like steel, copper, they look a lot stronger than some of the shiny metals. Some of the agriculture look good. So this looks like it's going to be a weekly reversal pattern in the making. It has to close on Friday. I just think there's stronger stuff out there. Let's look at cocoa. You kind of see a theme here. Cocoa, a lot of accumulation stepping in it right there. You can see 3 straight days of accumulation. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's back above the 200-day moving average. I don't know how excited I'd get about this chart because it's gone nowhere, you know, in years and years and years. So anytime that it tries to rally, it just gets stuck in this range. But maybe this time is different. But again, I don't know if I like this because it has a history of going nowhere. Let's look at the Chile ETF, ECH, downtrend below the 50-day moving average. Maybe a weekly reversal pattern. No, it doesn't look like it's going to be. So I'd just probably pass on this. Sugar, more agriculture, right? This week that is looking pretty strong, up 4% this week. I'd say this is extended, right? It's currently 9.7% above the 50-day moving average, so I'd probably let that pull back a little bit. But sugar is looking very strong, so maybe cocoa does follow suit. But if you're going to buy one, why not buy if you're going to buy a soft, right? What they call softs, why not buy something that's a little bit stronger? So I'd probably wait on a pullback on that one. Wheat, this is looking really good. Disclosure, I do own some, but you know, you really have. Let's look at this chart for a second. You had a weekly reversal pattern about 4 weeks ago, right there, right? You had a weekly reversal pattern, slightly below average volume by like 2%, but I think it's above average relative to the last several years. But if we break it down on a daily chart, right, you got a double bottom pattern with a breakout above 7, right? Came back, thrusted above 7, broke out, and continued. You got more accumulation along the way. You can see right here. I like it closer to 7. Right, if you're looking to get an entry, right now it's 5% above that level, but wheat is looking like it is trying to break out of this 742 range. On Thursday, it slowly got to 744, maybe pulls back a little bit and tries again, just like it did right here, right? Tries to get to a level, comes back, tests the support zone, and then thrusts through. So maybe it comes up to here, pulls back to 7, and then gives it another chance, but this to me looks pretty good right here. 3D printing, this is popping. Let's kind of expand this a little bit. All right, this is popping quite a bit the last couple days because triple D, 3D printing really popped on earnings. So you kind of got some sympathy play right here, but still really in a sideways pattern. But I think if it breaks above 40, I would put a buy with a stop under Wednesday's low, because it's got hit this level 1, 2, 3, 4 or close to it 5 times. So that's a very, very significant level. If it gets through that level, I would think that is definitely worth swinging the bat and attempting to make a play. So some of these more aggressive areas like 3D printing, sports betting right here that you can see really hasn't done anything since February, right? Peaked in February. You're kind of starting to try to come around. That's why I'm saying I think it pays to be a bull, right? Don't always look at the bear side. Some of these look good, so I hope this was helpful. But mostly you have commodities in the top 10. And if we look in the last 30 days, let's just kind of look at that, right? You got Bitcoin right there. You have the rare earth metals, right? That looks good. Wheat, sugar. Right, blockchain, corn. So you still got DBA right here is up 8%. So, which is the agriculture ETF. So you still have a lot of commodities in the last 30 days and the last 7 days that are looking pretty strong. I think you want to own something, right? I think the shiny metals really look like dog crap right now. I think the base metals, I think the agriculture, I think those are the more stronger plays, and that's where you want to focus on.